that mean to you, Chief?
Well, it doesn't mean anything to me. That's what they need to do to reconcile things with themselves. The Bruce family wants the land restored to us, restitution for the lost revenues from the business enterprises for 96 years, and punitive damages for the Manhattan Beach City Council and the Manhattan Beach Police Department at that time, colluding in a diabolical plan to terrorize my family and then railroad them out of Manhattan Beach.
Why should we be penalized for something that happened almost 100 years ago? What do you say to them, Chief?
Well, we're still being penalized for what happened 100 years ago. Our family is still suffering the trauma of those diabolical plans to terrorize our family. Generational wealth has been passed down from their families to them. But we still have the pain and hurt of that terrorism passed down to us, and we need to have this rectified. There are no amount of money actually can repay you for the terrorism that our family went through under the guise of municipal work. What we need to have is someone to stand up for Manhattan Beach, because the city council clearly doesn't have the guts to do so, and say that, look, we need to rectify this for those people.
Supervisor, I mean, that's the point that so many have made, is that
to do so and say that, look, we need to rectify this for those people.
Supervisor, I mean, that's the point that so many have made, is that the generational wealth that this family was prevented from earning, right? That young couple who went on. That the generational wealth that this family was prevented from earning, right? That young couple who went on to have many generations of family, they had to go and work for other people as chefs or cooks in other businesses. They didn't have agency over. They had to go and work for other people as chefs or cooks in other businesses. They didn't have agency over their own futures in terms of earning the potential revenue that a beachfront property like that would have earned.
You know, as you said, this was an injustice, not just inflicted on Willa and Charles Bruce, but generations of Bruces who most certainly would have been millionaires if they had retained this prime Manhattan beachfront property.
We've been very resilient, even though a lot of us have lived in extreme poverty since their demise, and that we are going to stand strong. We are the generation that Charles and Willa Bruce prayed for, and we are going to stand toe-to-toe with any opposition until we get justice in this issue.
Bruce's Beach. You see the plaque there in Manhattan Beach. Hopefully it'll cause you to pause and think.
We already know the shenanigans of the Manhattan Beach City Council. My family asked me to tell the City Council that when you go low, we stand toe-to-toe. We will not tolerate the insults that are coming from your council. And we highly suggest that you start revising your budget very soon. My name is Chief Duane Yellowfeather, the designated representative for Charles and Willa Bruce. For those who don't know, Willie was the name that her mother's slave master gave to her. She threw off that name and decided to be called Willa. A grown woman, a grown consenting woman. And here we have someone on the city council decides to call her by that slave name. A slap in the face to the memory of our matriarch. Then they issue an acknowledgement and say in that acknowledgement that the events that happened, the terrorism that happened to my family was reportedly done. The facts are ostensible. And people say, I'm angry, I'm strident. Yeah, I am. I am the generation, from the generation that Charles and Willa Bruce prayed for. And we're going to stay here until the job is done. We want restoration of our land, restitution for the loss of enterprise, and punitive damages for the collusion of the institutional racists in this city that railroaded our family out of here. We reserve our rights on this earth to be men, to be women, to be human beings, to be given the rights of human beings, to be given the respect of human beings in this country, in this day, and in this society, and in this damn city. And we intend to bring it into existence by every means necessary. Thank you.
The Oscar goes to.
And 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 the Oscar goes to.
Chief Duane Shepherd.